What's up, everybody? Jim and Eric here to talk about the Academy Awards, what we thought of some of the winners, the ones that upset us, some more than others. Let's start with the one that we're both in agreement on. Sam Smith winning for Writings on the Wall, best song, Writings on the Wall for Spectre.
No, it's a terrible song.
The Writings on the Wall. Your song sucks, Sam. That's the writing on the wall.
It's just a bad song. And look, obviously, it's all completely, music is a very personal thing. And I'm sure there are some people out there who might like that song. But I feel like most people were like, no, this is not a good song. It's not a good Bond song. There's been plenty of great ones.
I'm a huge Bond fan. You can vouch for that.
And there's plenty of Bond songs that we both have loved. But this winning, it was the only song that I was sure wasn't going to win, in fact.
Yeah, especially coming after Lady Gaga's performance. We were like, well, clearly that's a song with feeling, and it's about something. And nothing.
And even people joked about, oh my gosh, 50 Shades of Grey could be an Oscar-winning movie, but it was a better song.
It was.
The one from Bond.
Sure, it swept the Razzies, but the song was
it
okay.
whipped the Razzies, you could say. So that baffled me. That was actually, I think that's the one that got me angry.
Yeah.
Because I just thought it was such a terrible song. Like, give it to freaking Madonna Die Another Day if you're going to give it to bad Bond song.
It's no Adele, no Skyfall.
No.
And people are like, well, don't Bond songs win all the time? I'm like, no.
No,
Adele, Skyfall was the first Bond song to win an Oscar. And now, no, Sam Smith, I'm sorry. And even, again, I'm a Bond fan, but Spectre has an Oscar, and there are a lot of other movies last night that got shut out. And,
Look, Duran Duran, "View to a Kill" is the greatest Bond song ever, says me, Eric Goldman.
Paul McCartney.
If they don't have an Oscar for that, then this damn song.
Exactly. Yeah, Sam Smith. And then there's a lot of other hubbub about his remarks that we don't have to get into. But it was just, to me, it was a screw up all around.
Yeah.
So Sam Smith is now the face of everything that was wrong with last night's Oscars to me.
Bad call.
Bad call, yes. Oscars. Bad call. So let's move on to what Frank Stallone might say is a bad call.
Yeah.
Look, it was surprising for a lot of people, personally not for me, that Stallone lost Best Supporting Actor. I wanted him to win. In fact, I wanted Creed to be nominated and win Best Picture. That didn't happen. It wasn't even nominated.
Yeah.
I would have loved sentimentally to see Stallone win.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But Mark Rylance won for Bridge of Spies. And he's fantastic in that movie.
Yeah.
He's the best thing about that movie, frankly.
This is different than Sam Smith in that I'm not going to say I'm angry because, again, that was a bad song. This was a great performance. So you can't be like, that talentless hack won. No, he gave a great performance in a movie, though, that I know some people loved it, but I felt the movie was kind of middle. It kind of felt like an Oscar bait movie. It was very dry. So him getting singled out for what was a good performance, it just Stallone winning, it felt right. I think it was a moment everyone wanted. Everyone wanted to have him, that vindication. So it kind of, thing I was most upset about was not getting that moment. So I wasn't mad at the winner. I wasn't saying, oh, he sucked. But it was hard because I think we all want to just see him up there. Rocky,
he is joined. I'm sorry, but he has now joined the ranks of Michael Keaton in Birdman.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler, and Eddie Murphy in Dreamgirls.
Yeah.
Now, what Michael Keaton didn't have to deal with that some of these other guys did was reputations for being difficult back in the day and for not always doing good movies.
And a run of bad movies.
Yeah. Michael Keaton has now been in 2 back-to-back Best Picture winners.
Yes.
Mark Rylance is an actor's actor. He has won 3 Tonys, an Olivier Award, a BAFTA. This guy's been working for 30 years.
Very acclaimed stage performer. Yeah.
He is, actors love him. He's an actor with a capital A.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I would have loved Stallone to have won. It would have been a perfect bookend. But, I think he wasn't nominated for the SAG Award.
Yeah.
And Creed wasn't nominated for Best Picture. And so to me, it seemed like a real uphill battle for him to actually get that. He did campaign, but...
Yeah, it's still, look, it was an acclaimed performance. He got the Golden Globe, as much as people debate the people voting on the Globes. So he got that moment, and I think he got the standing ovation at the Globe. So it's not like, Creed was a home run for him in so many ways. I think everyone just wanted this to be that cherry on top moment that unfortunately he didn't get.
I have a spoilerish reason for why he didn't win the Oscar. Should I say it? Spoiler warning.
For Creed.
For just 10 seconds if you haven't seen the movie. If Rocky had died at the end, he would have won the Oscar.
You might be right.
I'm just saying.
You might be right.
End of spoilers.
Okay,
let's move on. Now, visual effects. was an interesting, I don't want to say snub, but we thought maybe Star Wars, if it was going to get anything, visual effects.
Yeah, it was interesting.
What won?
Well, what won was Ex Machina, which is, the thing that was weird was that I wanted Star Wars to win. I thought it deserved to win. But Mad Max, which we're going to talk about more in a minute, had been just sweeping all the tech awards, right?
Oh, yeah.
So at that point, by the time they got to visual effects, I'm like, ooh, maybe Mad Max is going to get this because it's winning everything technical.
I was all poised to write up Mad Max.
Yeah. That being said, I loved Ex Machina. And so the fact that Ex Machina is now an Oscar-winning movie, the fact that a very small movie that plenty of people still haven't seen,
right?
Like that, I couldn't be mad. Star Wars has plenty of success. Star Wars will be fine.
But a billion reasons why it will be okay.
So as much as I was rooting for Star Wars 2, I felt so happy for Ex Machina winning an Oscar.
Well, it's also, too, like you do have to think with Alicia Vikander winning Best Supporting Actress for The Danish Girl. She was also being touted for Ex Machina. That's her right there.
Yeah, huge year for her.
So I do think in a way the whole thing was kind of a combined Valentine to her, this young actress now.
Yeah.
That's, this budding new talent that they're honoring.
Yeah.
So, okay. It was an upset, but we're not upset about it.
Right. I will say I'm not the only one to make this joke. I saw people on Twitter making the joke that look, a sci-fi movie with Oscar Isaac and Domhnall Gleeson won the visual effects.
But yes,
thank you. But it was not Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Either way,
it was the other great movie they were in last year.
Exactly.
Together.
Now let's move on to we've been talking about Mad Max Fury Road a little bit. Clearly, the movie did well last night.
Yeah.
It won 6 Academy Awards. It was nominated for 10. That's nothing to sneeze at.
No.
But Spotlight won Best Picture. Spotlight is a great movie.
Yes. Yeah.
But why should we be upset about Mad Max not winning?
I mean, I'm not personally upset. I was going to be happy, actually, if Mad Max, Room, or Spotlight won. Those were the 3 movies that I actually all thought, for different reasons, I'd be happy winning. Spotlight surprised me a little at that point of the evening,
right? Because
it had kind of been it had won one earlier in the evening.
Yeah,
right?
it was the best screenplay.
But then
original.
it still felt like a lot of times that's the thing a movie will get. Like
it
gets best screenplay, but doesn't.
Big Short.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like at that point it kind of surprised me just to hear its name said.
Well, even Morgan Freeman was like Spotlight.
Right.
It was like played straight, like the way Louis C.K. did his Mad Max joke doing the documentary shorts. But I think. Genre movies, they did okay this year.
Yeah.
I mean, Mad Max got 6, Ex Machina, Martian got shut out. But I think it's Mad Max, the fact that it was even ended up such a contender and had such a legit shot.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. And people are upset that Inarritu won Best Director instead of George Miller.
Yeah.
I do believe George Miller already has an Oscar for Happy Feet.
Oh, yes.
So he's not exactly without Oscar glory, but
I'm not even being sarcastic that if the resurgence of George Miller gets people to reassess and re-love Babe Pig in the City, I'll be very happy because I love that freaking movie. It is tough for genre movies. I mean, there are the exceptions. Obviously, Return of the King is a big one that did win Best Picture.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, but I will say, with Mad Max, 2 things. One, it is an honor to be nominated, and it was one of the Best Picture nominees. And the other being it won 6 Oscars, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So there was I still thought, I don't think it's winning Best Picture, even as it was sweeping all those tech awards, it still would have been actually.
It was the film editing win is the one where I was like, okay, wait a second.
Right.
No, because that usually kind of tips the hand of what could win. For all we know, on the actual vote count, it could have been really close between that and Spotlight. Spotlight could have just eked out a victory.
When you have 10 movies, too, it's going to be
8 this year.
Oh, it's 8 this year. I was up to 10.
But yeah, it was really interesting. And I think, as disappointed as George Miller fans are, I mean, let's put it this way. Tom McCarthy, director of Spotlight, won for screenplay and won Best Picture, didn't win Best Director. So, an argument could be made that he got robbed too.
I will say, it's funny. Mad Max is the exception because it got so many tech awards. Otherwise, they were kind of spreading the love this year. I mean, obviously, The Revenant got 2 awards and Spotlight got 2, but there was no dominating the big, what we consider the big awards.
Yeah,
right?
the above the line awards.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was actually kind of cool because, Revenant, amusingly, is the only one I haven't seen of the Best Picture nominees. But it's like, and I know that kind of polarizes some people, that movie. But again, it wasn't like you could be like, oh, I don't like The Revenant, and it won everything. It didn't win everything. If you loved it, it won some big awards.
I think it'd be a much more I really like The Revenant. I gave it a very positive review, but I understand why people don't like it.
Yeah.
If that had won Best Picture, we could be talking about that today. I think the fact that Spotlight won Best Picture, there was this whole sort of thing on Twitter of like anything but The Revenant winning Best Picture. That's almost a whole other conversation of why people seem to hate The Revenant so much. But overall, these were the upsets that got us talking.
Yeah. And Brie Larson, I love you, and you deserve to win.
And but the one that we have to agree on, Sam Smith.
Sam Smith.
Writings on the wall.
Sam Smith.
No, we're
No.
not having it. We'll always hate that one.
That's a bad win.
So that's what we thought about the surprises and snubs and upsets of last night's Academy Awards. Let us know in the comments below what got your goat about all this. For all things movies, keep it here on IGN.